was down to Florida last week. Any of you ever been at the villages down there outside of Leesburg?
Yeah.
Isn't that someplace? Still building 22 new houses every day.
80,000 people live in it.
82 now, they say. 37 golf courses right in there. But just my luck, when I was down there, I'm crazy about orange groves and stuff like that. If I look more gimped up, I fell off a 40-foot extension ladder down there.
Oh.
Luckily, I was only on the first run. I mean, that's a fancy place. We went into a restaurant to eat there in the villages, and I went in the restroom, and my own stall is just like at home. It had a lavatory and a sink right in my stall. And there's more golf carts down there than I ever saw in my life. They've got their own overpasses and tunnels. They don't have to drive on the road. But they got big fancy Cadillac emblems, and they're really something. When I got home, it was kind of a quick trip. We went down there for a friend's golden wedding anniversary. I had a friend watch my house because the weather's cold and I didn't want something to freeze up. But when I got back, I went over to kind of make it right with him. Was sitting there drinking coffee, and he's got the most jealous wife you ever could imagine. Right while I was sitting there drinking coffee, she looked over and she said, "Say, John," she said, "how many women have you slept with altogether?" Well, he said, "Dear," said, "you're the only one." He said, "The rest of them all stayed awake." A lot of old people there around Wetzel. We just had another 50th wedding anniversary. John and Mary, nice couple, but they were sitting at the breakfast table the other morning having their coffee, and Mary looked over at John. She said, "You know, dear," she said, "in all them 50 years, said, have you ever been unfaithful to me?" "No, sir," he said, "I haven't." Sat there and took another sip of his coffee, and he said, "How about you, Mary?" She kind of hung her head and said, "I ain't proud of it, but yes," she said, "on 3 different occasions." John said, "I can't believe it." He said, why would you do something like that?" "Well," she said, "you remember, about 2 years after we was married, you got laid off. We got 3 months behind on the house payment. They was going to take our house." And I went down, visited the banker there one evening, and said the next morning he renewed the loan. "Well," he said, "Mary, you saved our house. I guess I can overlook that." He said, "What about the second time?" "Well," she said, "we've been married, I guess, 8-10 years. When he had that heart trouble come up, we didn't have any medical insurance and said we wasn't going to be able to pay for the surgeon. But she said, I went over and talked to that doctor one night and said the next week he agreed to do that surgery for nothing." "Well," he said, "you saved my life." He said, "I guess I could overlook that." He said, "Well, what about the third time?" "Well," she said, "that was quite a bit later." She said, "You remember about 10 years ago when you was running for president of the golf club and you needed 62 more votes to get elected?" He needed 62 more votes, and she was influential like that. There you go. You know, you don't have to have a parachute to skydive, but you do if you want to skydive the second time. Boy, this cold weather, it makes for a lot of fires over there. We had a fellow over there, a neighbor just down the road, and his house caught fire in that cold weather. He was overheating with wood, and the neighbors all tore over there to see what we could do, but there wasn't really anything we could do. We said, "What you doing? You called the fire department?" "Nope." He said, "I'm fighting the fire with fire." Well, it just burnt clear down. You know, water works a whole lot better than fire on a thing like that. You ever notice down in Florida they have those trained dolphins, and them dolphins are pretty smart. In only about 6-7 weeks in captivity, they can train them people to stand on the edge of the pool and throw fish. Terry and John aren't here again tonight, and I'm a little worried about Terry, really. He was telling me, you know, he told you about that chloroform deal he was lucky with. Well, he said the other night he was walking out through the park, and he said, "Boy," I saw a good-looking woman out there, And he said, we walked up there, and he said there was an instant spark between us. And he said, we just fell down together and started making mad, wild love. And he said, I just thought to myself, said, them lasers is worth every penny. Got a cousin up in Minnesota. You know, we think we've had a lot of snow, but they really had a blizzard up there. He said his wife stood and just looked through the window for 3 straight days. But that snow, he said, if it don't quit pretty soon, I'm going to have to let her in. And then that little church just down north of Wetzel there that had the trouble with the wild mushrooms a couple of weeks ago. Boy, they've had more bad luck. They've got one of the finest organists that you can ever imagine. That lady can really play the organ. She just like Jerry Lee Lewis, she can just make that thing hum. But the only thing is, she's very amply endowed. Actually make Dolly Parton look like a boy. And when she gets to playing with a lot of vigor and gusto, things gets to shaking, and it kind of upsets some of them other ladies. So they kind of got together like ladies will, and they sent one of them down to talk to her and said, either you're going to straighten your act up or get a different organist. And they said, tell you what you do. Said, get you some green persimmons. Mash them up and just rub them all over yourself so that it kind of works like an astringent, so that it'll tighten everything up and it'll maybe quit some of that shaking. Well, she didn't want to lose her job as organist, so she followed that advice. Sunday morning, she was up there, boy, she played an opening hymn there that just had the whole thing a-rocking. About that time, the minister walked up there to the pulpit, and he said, due to circumstances above my control, he said, there will be no sermon today. Those green persimmons, don't dare to eat them and make you talk funny. But I'm going to leave it go at that tonight, but there's some other things to build, but I think in 2 weeks we'll have the resolution of what's really happened out there, but it's going to be earth-shattering, I think. Thank you very much.